नमो अरिहन्ताणं नमो सिद्धाणं नमो वाययाणं नमो वज्रायाणं नमो लोये सौवसां मङ्गलं भगवान् वीरो मङ्गलं गौतमो गणी मङ्गलं कुन्द कुन्दाद्यो जैन धर्मोऽस्तु मङ्गलम् सर्वमङ्गलमाङ्गल्यं सर्वकल्याणकारकं प्रदानं सर्वधर्माणां जैनं जयतु शासनं जैनं जयतु शासनं जैनं जयतु शासनं. So today, Vitrag Vigyan 3, chapter 4, Agrahit or Grahit Mithyatva. So Agrahit is inherited wrong faith, and very good words would be inborn delusion. So faith is delusion and inherited wrong. So it is inborn delusion. Agrahit mithyatva. Right? Then grahit mithyatva is adapted wrong faith, and a good word would be acquired delusion. So grahit is something that we have acquired in this birth, and agrahit is inborn. It is coming through it is coming along with the soul from time immortal. So it is called inborn delusion. So this is again a conversation between a student and a teacher. Of course, you know Pandit Daulat Ramji's biography. We had studied Dev Stuti in Vitrag Vigyan 1, chapter 1. That was from Daulat Ramji, and Vitrag Vigyan 2, chapter 3, errors of 7 elements. That was also from Pandit Daulat Ramji, and this is also from, so introduction you can read yourself, but we'll begin the chapter. This is a small chapter, only 2 pages, and it's a conversation between a student and a teacher. So Aditi ji, you can read the chapter. You have the book with you? Aditi ji Jain.
Hanji, Janine.
So you read.
Okay.
Yeah. You're from which city?
I'm from Kota only.
Okay.
Adopted and inherited wrong faiths. Student, whose life has been described in Chaidhala. Teacher, it is the life of all living creatures. It relates the story of the roamings of this soul in this vast universe. This soul of ours has been wandering in all the 4 phases of life, but it never attained happiness. This has been shown in the first dhal. Student, why is this soul wandering in this world, and why is it unhappy? Teacher, this question has been answered in the second dhal. This soul, thus wandering in the world, has been facing the miseries of births and deaths on account of the wrong faith, wrong knowledge, and wrong conduct. Student, What are these wrong faith, wrong knowledge, and wrong conduct due to which this being is unhappy? Teacher, perverted faith of the seven elements, including the soul, is false belief or wrong faith. You have studied the attributes of animate or inanimate objects and other elements. To regard these essential elements as different from their real nature is perverted faith. Student, since when are we in the grips of this wrong faith? Teacher, this is since time eternal, but we have been supporting this with external activities. This is of two kinds, inherited wrong faith and adopted wrong faith. Student, kindly explain these. Teacher, the feeling of oneness that living beings have with their bodies and attachment towards external objects since time's eternal is inherited wrong faith, and the perverted beliefs that we have developed being influenced by unreal gods, scriptures, and monks is adopted wrong faith. Student, there must be inherited and adopted non-consciousness also. Teacher, yes, it's just like that. Ignorance of living creatures regarding the seven elements from times immemorial is inherited wrong knowledge, and adopted wrong knowledge is to study the false scriptures wherein attachments and other passions have been regarded as desirable and to regard their teachings as correct. Student, shall we understand wrong conduct also likewise? Teacher, yes, of course. Indulgence of ignorant creatures in several activities is inherited wrong conduct, and the external conduct which is observed for the sake of fame and good name is adopted wrong conduct. External activities that are devoid of faith and knowledge of the animate and inanimate beings are of no avail. It has been said, the activities of the body include those that inflict physical pain, performed with a view to gaining fame, profit, or respect, and that are without the knowledge of the soul and the non-soul beings, all led to the weakening of the physical structure only. Student, why are all the activities of the ignorant irreligious? If they are good, they should be called religious. Teacher, Pandit Daulatramji replies thus: to accept the psychic violence arising out of the feelings of attachments and aversions that rise in the soul, and the material violence of killing or causing pain to moving or stationary being, as religion is wrong faith. And entities having faith in these are unhappy. Student, what is the remedy of saving oneself from these? Teacher, we can protect ourselves from adopted wrong faith by understanding the real nature of God and the scriptures and the monks, and from the inherited wrong faith by true knowledge of the essential seven elements, and thus obtaining inner experience of the soul. Student, then please explain the nature of all these. Teacher, some other time.
So, through this chapter, they are introducing us to the famous scriptural text Chaitala. So, whose life has been described in the Chaitala? So, we read the other day in 4 expositions about Pratman Yog, Charnan Yog, Karnan Yog, and Dravyan Yog. So, among those 4, in Pratman Yog, we do have biographies and stories of Tirthankar and other great persons. So it is written here, whose life has been described in the Chaitala. It is a life story of all living creatures. Because it has covered all the 4 state of existence. Okay, so it is a life story of all living creatures. Not a single creature is left over, because there are 4 types of state of existence only, and all those 4 have been explained there. What are the miseries that they are suffering in those births. So basically in the first dhal, all this has been explained in detail. So whose life has been described in the Chhaya Dhala? It is a life story of all living creatures. It relates the story of the roamings of the soul. Roamings of the soul in this vast universe. It is also called transmigration. Okay, transmigration from one species or from one state of existence to another state of existence in this vast universe. The soul of ours has been wandering in all the 4 phases of life, but it never attained happiness. This has been shown in the first dhal. Why is this soul wandering in this world, and why is it unhappy? This question has been answered in the second dhal. So, as the name suggests, Chhaya Dhal, so there are 6 dhal, and each dhal is as good as one chapter. So, in the second dhal, this question has been answered. This soul, thus wandering in the world, has been facing the miseries of births and deaths on account of wrong faith, wrong knowledge, and wrong conduct. So why is it unhappy, or why this soul is wandering in this world? Because of wrong faith, wrong knowledge, and wrong conduct. Or it is called perverted faith, perverted knowledge, and perverted conduct. Wrong faith is also called delusion. Wrong knowledge is wrong knowledge only, and wrong conduct is wrong conduct only. What are these wrong faith, wrong knowledge, and wrong conduct due to which this being is happy? The soul is unhappy. Why? Perverted faith, or the wrong faith of the 7 elements, 7 fundamental elements, Prayojan Bhut Tattva, including the soul, is false belief or wrong faith. You have studied the attributes of animate and inanimate objects. So animate is Jeev and inanimate is Ajeev. So Jeev Tattva and Ajeev Tattva and other elements. So this other element is Asrav, Bandh, Samvar, Nirjara, and Moksha. To regard these essential elements, Prayojanbhut Tattva, as different from their real nature is perverted faith. So, if your belief is wrong, then it is called perverted faith or wrong belief. or simply delusion. One word is delusion. So to regard these essential elements as different from their real nature. So their nature is of one type, and people believe it to be of another type. And just because of that, the delusion continues. And because of delusion, this soul is suffering great miseries in all the four states of existence. Since when we are in the grips of this wrong faith, this is since time eternal. There is no beginning. But we have been supporting this with external activities. So we have been fostering this with our acquired delusion. Okay. So inborn delusion was already there from time immortal. And on top of that, we have acquired new delusions. So new acquired delusion is grahit, mithyatva, and inborn delusion is agrahit. Since when we are in the grips of this wrong faith, this is since time eternal, but we have been supporting this with external activities. This is of two kinds. What is of two kinds? This wrong faith is of two kinds. One is inherited wrong faith or inborn delusion, and the other is adapted wrong faith or the acquired delusion. So now the definition is coming up of Mithya Darshan. The feeling of oneness that living beings have with their bodies. So they believe the body and the soul to be as one. And attachment towards external objects. So, the feeling of oneness that living beings have with their bodies and attachments towards external objects. Since time eternal is inherited wrong faith. Inherited wrong faith is acquired delusion. So acquired delusion is newly adopted by listening to the sermons and obeying the instruction of false gods, false scriptures, and false monks. And now, what is the inborn delusion? The delusions regarding the true nature of the fundamental elements, Prayojanbhut Tattva, which have existed with the soul since time eternal, are inborn delusion. Okay? So, The feeling of oneness that living beings have with their bodies and attachments towards external objects since time eternal is inherited wrong faith. And the perverted belief that we have developed, being influenced by unreal gods, unreal scriptures, and unreal monks. That is, false god, false scriptures, and false monk is adopted wrong faith, or it is called acquired delusions. Okay, so we have two types of delusions. One is inborn delusion, which has been coming from time immortal, and it is about the wrong belief regarding the 7 fundamental elements. And the other one is acquired delusion, and it is about false god, false scriptures, and false monks. So this is all about the belief, okay? Belief or belief, and what else we call it? Belief, wrong faith, and one is mithya shraddha, then mithya, then मिथ्या श्रद्धान और क्या है इसमें आता है रॉन्ग फेथ, विपरीत श्रद्धा, विपरीत अभिप्राय, विपरीत मान्यता, ये सब रॉन्ग फेथ पे ही आ जाते हैं. Then now we'll be moving to the wrong knowledge. There must be inherited and adopted non-consciousness also. Yes, it is just like that. Ignorance of living creatures regarding the 7 elements from times immemorial is inherited wrong knowledge. So, ignorance of living creatures regarding the 7 elements from time immemorial is inherited wrong knowledge. And what is adopted wrong knowledge? Adopted wrong knowledge is to study the false scriptures wherein attachments and other passions have been regarded as desirable and to regard their teachings as correct. So actually it is false, but it is regarding the teachings as correct. So this is all about the acquired wrong knowledge and the adopted inborn wrong knowledge and the adopted wrong knowledge. Similarly, there is inborn conduct and acquired conduct. Shall we understand the wrong conduct also likewise? Yes, of course. Indulgence of ignorant creatures in several activities is inherited wrong conduct. And the external conduct, which is observed for the sake of fame and good name, is adopted wrong conduct. बाह्य क्रियाकांड आत्मा अनात्मा के ज्ञान और श्रद्धान से रहित होने के कारण सब असफल है. The activities of the body, including those that inflict physical pain, performed with a view to gaining fame, profit, or respect, and that are without the knowledge of soul and non-soul beings, all lead to the weakening of the physical structure. अंतर में उठने वाले राग तथा द्वेष रूप भाव नॉट दिस वन, अज्ञानी जीवों की विषय में प्रवृत्ति ही अग्रहित मिथ्या चारित्र है तथा प्रशंसा आदि के लोभ से जो ऊपरी आचार पाला जाता है वह ग्रहित मिथ्या चारित्र है. बाहरी क्रियाकांड आत्मा अनात्मा के ज्ञान और श्रद्धा से रहित होने के कारण सब असफल है. So, indulgence of ignorant creatures in several activities is inherited wrong faith. अज्ञानी जीव के विषय में प्रवृत्ति ही अग्रहित मिथ्या चारित्र है. Indulgence of ignorant creatures in several activities. So several activities is 5 sensory objects, is inherited wrong conduct, and the external conduct which is observed for the sake of fame and good name is adapted wrong conduct. Adapted is acquired, and the one which is going on from previous birth is inborn wrong conduct. External activities that are devoid of faith and knowledge of the animate and inanimate beings are all of no avail. It has been said, the activities of the body, including those that inflict physical pain, performed with a view to gaining fame, profit, or respect, and that are without the knowledge of soul and non-soul beings, all leading to the weakening of the physical structure only. Why are all the activities of the ignorant irreligious? If they are good, they should be called religious. अंतर में उठने वाले राग तथा द्वेष रूप भाव हिंसा तथा त्रस और स्थावर के घात रूप द्रव्य हिंसा से सहित जो भी क्रियाएं हैं उन्हें धर्म मानना कुधर्म है. इनमें श्रद्धा रखने से जीव दुखी होता है. To accept the psychic violence arising out of the feelings of attachments and aversions that rise on the soul and the material violence of killing or causing pain to moving or stationary being as religion is wrong faith. Entities having faith in these are happy. Then what is the remedy of saving oneself from this? इससे बचने का उपाय क्या है? We can protect ourselves from adopted wrong faith by understanding the real nature of the God, the scriptures, and the monks. And from inherited wrong faith, we can protect ourselves from inherited wrong faith or the inborn delusion by true knowledge of the essential 7 elements, and thus obtaining inner experience of the soul. Then please explain the nature of all these some other time. So now my question is, which one goes first? The inborn delusion or the acquired delusion? Who will try?
So I think it would be the inborn delusion would be the first thing.
Okay.
Because that is something which you are carrying it from your previous births.
Right.
So that is something which would be there from the beginning. And then as you are born, you acquire the other ones with time.
Okay. Any other answers?
Sir, I think the other way around. Acquired delusion will go first because you have acquired. So if you become self-aware, if you practice,
Acquired is the same thing you are telling, no? Prinalji also said same thing.
okay, yeah.
So if you are saying it is other way around, that means ki acquired delusion goes first. So you must come to the true God, true scriptures, and true monks first step. Okay. Then the inborn delusion goes. So first it is the acquired one which goes, and then the second one is the inborn which it goes. But as far as karma is concerned, delusion karma, there is no such difference of acquired or inborn. It is all same only. And from that point of view, when the delusion goes, both goes simultaneously. So this is from the point of view of delusion karma. And what we were talking right now was about the sentiments. Okay. So this is one difference. First one, the acquired will go. So it is always motivated and inspired to come to the true God and true scriptures and true monks. Because unless and until you come to the true gods, the delusion cannot be wiped out. So to eliminate the delusion, for the first step is you come to the true God, true scriptures, and true monks. And from there you study further, and then you eliminate the errors regarding 7 fundamentals. So that will take care of the inborn delusion. So both can go if you develop a correct understanding of all this. So there are 3 types of 3 causes, I would say, for the sufferings that this soul is experiencing since time immortal, and that is because of wrong faith, wrong knowledge, and wrong conduct. So first one is wrong faith. And what is this wrong faith? So we have to tell the definition from two angles, one from the inborn delusion angle and the other one from the acquired delusion angle. So first one is inborn, the feeling of oneness that living beings have with their bodies. So they consider soul and body two separate things. They consider is at one. An attachment towards external object since time eternal. But if you see the Hindi version, it is a bit different. Yes. जो बिना सिखाए अनादि से ही शरीर रागादि पर पदार्थों में अहम बुद्धि. So शरीर and ragadi, and then it is both are par padarth. Okay, sharir is also par padarth and ragadi is also par padarth. पर पदार्थों में अहम बुद्धि. Okay, aham buddhi is mindness. And the perverted belief that we have developed, right? That this is, we are talking about the acquired delusion that we have developed, being influenced by unreal gods, that is false gods, false scriptures, and false monk, is adopted wrong faith or the acquired wrong faith or the acquired delusion. Okay, so these two definitions this is for the belief, the attribute of belief. Now the next is the attribute of knowledge. So what will be acquired wrong knowledge and inborn wrong knowledge? So first is inborn wrong knowledge. Ignorance of living creatures regarding the 7 elements. Okay, from times immemorial is inherited wrong knowledge. Okay, so this is inborn wrong knowledge, ignorance of living creatures regarding the 7 fundamental elements from times immemorial, means from times immortal, because that ignorance regarding the 7 fundamental elements is there with the soul since time immortal. So there is no beginning. It is from time immortal. Is inherited wrong knowledge, and adopted wrong knowledge is to study the false scriptures wherein attachments and other passions have been regarded as desirable and to regard their teachings as correct. So just because we are talking about knowledge, so only scriptures has been taken. Wrong knowledge is to study the false scriptures. Okay, so not only studying the false scriptures, but believing to be the false scriptures. wherein attachments and other passions have been regarded as desirable. So how can you desire attachments and other passions and to regard their teachings as correct? So this is a false knowledge. So the first one was inherited wrong knowledge, and then the next one was adapted wrong knowledge. So inherited wrong knowledge was about the 7 elements from time immortal, and the acquired illusion was about the false scriptures. Okay. So he believes the false scriptures to be right scriptures. That is a mistake. Shall we understand the wrong conduct also likewise? Yes, of course. Indulgence of ignorant creatures in several activities is inherited wrong conduct. अज्ञानी जीव के विषयों में प्रवृत्ति ही अग्रहित मिथ्या चारित्र है तथा प्रशंसा आदि के लोभ से जो ऊपरी आचार पाला जाता है वह ग्रहित मिथ्या चारित्र है. Indulgence of ignorant creatures in several activities is inherited wrong conduct. And the external conduct which is observed for the sake of fame and good name is adapted wrong conduct. बाहरी क्रियाकांड आत्मा अनात्मा के ज्ञान और श्रद्धांत से रहित होने के कारण सब असफल है. External activities that are devoid of faith and knowledge of the animate and inanimate beings are all of no avail. It has been said the activities of the body, including those that inflict physical pain, performed with a view to gaining fame, profit, or respect, and that are without the knowledge of soul and non-soul beings, all lead to the weakening of the physical structure only. Why are all the activities of the ignorant irreligious? If they are good, they should be called religious. अज्ञानी जीव की सब क्रियाएं अधर्म क्यों हैं? जो अच्छी है उन्हें तो धर्म कहना चाहिए. To accept the psychic violence, अंतर में उठने वाले राग तथा द्वेष रूप भाव हिंसा तथा थ्रस और थावर के घात रूप द्रव्य हिंसा से सहित जो भी क्रियाएं हैं उन्हें धर्म मानना कुधर्म है. To accept the psychic violence arising out of the feeling of attachment and aversion that rise in the soul and the material violence of killing or causing pain to moving or stationary beings as religion is wrong faith. So Bhavinsa and also the Dravyahinsa, both are coming under wrong faith. Entities having faith in these are unhappy. इनमें श्रद्धा रखने से जीव दुखी होता है. Since these are not the right belief and a right knowledge, so that is why this is an example of false conduct. And now comes the last question. What is the remedy of saving one from this? We can protect ourselves from adopted wrong faith by understanding the real nature of the God, the scriptures, and the monks. Okay, so the first step is to understand the real nature of the true God, true scriptures, and true monks. And from inherited wrong faith, we can protect ourselves from inherited wrong faith by true knowledge of the essential 7 elements, and thus obtaining inner experience of the soul. So when you know the true knowledge of the 7 essential elements, then obviously you experience your soul, and once you experience your soul, you become an enlightened soul, a learned soul, and your delusion has gone away. You have eliminated your delusion and acquired right faith. So this was all about this chapter on delusion. The main reason is the delusion, okay? And just because of wrong faith, the knowledge is also wrong and the conduct is also wrong. So first we need to mend the wrong faith or the wrong belief. So once the delusion gets eliminated, then you acquire right knowledge, right conduct, and you just follow the path of liberation, and you can achieve the liberation also. So this was all about acquired and inborn delusion. Now, if you have any questions, we can take up. Otherwise,
Rajesh Bhai Jai Jinendra,
yeah.
I just want to clarify what you said. When you talk of inherited wrong faith, you're talking of bound delusions. Am I correct?
Pardon?
When we say it's inherited, then
Right.
we're talking of inbound, right?
Then we are talking of inborn delusion.
Yeah, and then when it's adopted, that is when it's acquired.
Yeah, that is acquired, right.
Okay. Thanks.
So acquired is about the false god, false scriptures, and false monk, and the errors in the fundamental elements is the inborn delusion. Okay.
Yes.
So first the acquired delusion goes, then inborn delusion goes. But as far as the mithyatva karma is concerned, or delusion karma is concerned, both goes simultaneously. There is no such sequence as such. Okay, so we are just close to our time also, and we have completed this chapter also. So why is this soul unhappy?
Can I answer that?
Yeah,
Yeah, the soul is unhappy because it's mixing itself with the body. It thinks the body and external things are together with it.
right. So that is on account of wrong faith, wrong knowledge, and wrong conduct. So this is the chief cause of the soul being unhappy. How can we get relief from this unhappiness? Who will say?
Sir, by acquiring right knowledge, right conduct, and right faith.
Faith. Yeah, good. So just because the cause of misery is the wrong faith, wrong knowledge, and wrong conduct, so the solution will be right faith, right knowledge, and right conduct. What is the difference between inherited and adopted?
Inherited is what we are born with, inborn, because of our past life, past state of the soul, and acquired is our wrong behavior or wrong conduct because of our wrong faith that we acquire.
Newly acquired, okay? Newly acquired is just because we get in touch with false God, false scriptures, and false man. A man of abstinence is worshipped in this world. As such, we should follow abstinence. Is this conception correct? If not, why? We'll answer this.
I can try and answer it if you want me to.
Yeah, you go ahead.
Okay, so when we talk of abstinence, it means we're staying away from something.
Right.
But if we stay away from things like correct faith, correct knowledge, and correct conduct, then we are not, then that's the wrong direction we are taking. So this conception of staying away from abstinence, it depends what abstinence we are staying away from.
So basically, this abstinence is the activity of the
Wrong activity.
mind, body, and the voice, we can say. Okay. So these are all bodily activities. And abstinence is the activities like fasting and all. This is called abstinence. So these outer or external activities are very much appreciated in the samaj or in the society, but this conception is not correct. First, we need to have the right belief, and then after acquiring right belief and right knowledge, if we do any kind of abstinence, then it leads to religion. So this conception is not correct. First, we need to have acquired right knowledge, acquired right faith and right knowledge. And how did one save from this adopted and inherited wrong faiths?
So can you repeat the question?
What is the remedy of saving oneself from these? From these means adopted and inadopted wrong faiths. How do you, what is the remedy of saving oneself from adopted and inborn wrong faiths?
I think the answer is already given on the same page.
Yes.
In the first paragraph, where the teacher is explaining to the student how we can protect ourselves from adopted wrong faith by understanding the real nature of the God, the scriptures, and the true monks.
And from inherited wrong faith by true knowledge of the essential 7 elements. And thus obtaining inner experience of the soul. So you just don't have the knowledge of essential 7 elements, but you should also have realized your soul or experienced your soul. So until and unless you don't experience your soul, then the right faith does not rise. So it is very important that you realize yourself and experience yourself. Okay, so the next chapter is, it is not exactly a article or a story like that, but it is just a autobiography. Who am I? Okay, so it is your autobiography, it is mine autobiography, it is every soul's autobiography. So this is a very good article written by Dr. Bharilji, and it will give more insight into our endeavor for realizing ourselves. So it will make us realize our true identity. Who am I? And it has been structured in such a way that gradually we move from gross to subtle. So that way, it's all in a very good sequence also. You just read once and come, and we'll be anyway studying in the class tomorrow. Who am I? So this is a very important question. People don't realize who they are. They feel that they are the body, or they are these toxic emotions, or they are this property, wealth, everything. So this is their wrong belief, and what will be a correct belief, that all we will discuss tomorrow. And then we will come to a conclusion. Who am I? So very interesting article. We'll just go through it tomorrow.